Good morning, good morning. How are we doing out there today? Hope everyone's having a great start to their week so far. I know it's going to be a bit of a weird week in general with another day that the market's closed on Thursday, January 1st. But we are starting off this week in a weird way. The SPY is moving to the downside, falling under 690, which it closed at an after hours Friday. I'm sure a lot of the futures traders out there already knew that it was going to be... Sorry, that's Eversource. I'm sure all the futures traders already knew it was going to be down because last night the SPY was falling into early this morning, or the S&P was, so SPY ultimately gapped down a little bit. Going to be watching it down around 686. That's the main support I'm watching for here. It doesn't seem like where it bounced in pre-market is anywhere that crazy. It doesn't line up too well. I definitely like 686 a lot better, especially if we go back on like an hourly chart or so. We can see 686 was this peak that I'm pointing at right now. A few hits right there as well, so I'll be watching that range extremely close to 686. Volatile AF, yep. Good morning, though, everybody. Zach, I love YouTube, MS, Simon, Joe Papa, Sharpie, Jason, Daniel, Tangy Man, Steve, Outlaw, Jake, Steven, love it. Volatile AF. Man, SPY has been volatile and is volatile right now. I like the way in which it's recovering, though, so far from open. Not bad on the price action. I got to give it some credit here. Good morning, Rick. Sold all but one share of CCCX. Churchill Capital Corp. Nice. Nice little pop in the short term. You sold SLV. Ooh, I don't blame you. Wow, look at silver, how much it pulled back, actually. Pretty big pullback there. Down towards 65. I want to see if we got some news here. It is going into effect today that the CME is raising margin requirements on silver. So ES. I wonder if they're going to have it there. Nothing too crazy. But a lot of people are going back and they're looking at silver during 2011, whenever the CME started to raise these margin requirements in the past due to volatility. We saw silver take a massive dip. I mean, massive. Let's just go to it on the chart. Oh my gosh. There we go. Go to the daily, scroll back to 11. Here's what we were looking like. Now, literally May 2nd is one of the days that stood out back then. But they started to essentially raise these margin requirements from like April 26th, I believe, or April 24th, all the way through like May 5th, May 6th. And we can just see over that time, you know, silver did continue the run at first, but it ultimately started really selling back off. Again, there were a couple terrible sell-off days towards the end of September as well. Those might have some different news to them, but nonetheless, the CME was raising those interest rates, or raising the margin requirements over here. Too easy to say interest rates. All this Federal Reserve talk lately. Pansy Man manually sold SLV in pre-market. Went dip to your stop, out and out. All right, all right. Look at that watch list here really quickly. Oh. Energy Fuels leading the way. You. Nice jump there in pre-market again. Wow, another 7% runner there. CGC's moving up 5%. Canopy Growth. All right. That's pretty nice. Yeah, CGC is not bad at all. Good morning, Anthony. Alexander. Got to fill them gaps and then boom. Man, a lot of these MJ stocks are trying to run here today again. Tilray. I know there was some news, I believe. Trump wants the reclassification done by the end of January. I can't remember if he said the end of this month, which would be December. I think he meant the end of January, though. You guys can triple check me. Alexander. Another stock moving a bit more. BMNR today. Bitmine. The stock's been getting crushed. Starting to really pop up here on these first couple 5-minute candles. MSTR's up 2.25% as well. See if some price action starts to come back through here. SPY coming back, though. I gotta say, from open, SPY has started to make a pretty good recovery, up to 689.30 just about. It is Alexander. About a month out, right? Should be just like a month away or so. Wow, that's pretty interesting here. Like the PA. Let's look at the Mag 7 setup here. Nice. Apple's been coming back from open. Nvidia's down 1.2%, but it is moving higher here. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, everything kind of pointed up there for a couple minutes, so it makes sense why SPY started to move in that way. Does make sense. All right. Getting some drinks of some Amp Energy this morning. You guys ever had that one? One of my favorites out there. Gotta try it. Suzanne. Yes, MU. You're liking MU? Apple's moving well today as well. Tangyman says Clean Spark. CLSK. If I could type it out. 11.25. Nice resistance there. Trying to go for more of a run and breakout today. Let's see CLSK over the past few trading days. I think it's starting to break this. Kind of got through that downtrend. Kind of a weird one, though, if I was being honest. Interesting with CLSK. I like the way it's starting to push higher here as well. Maybe coming back for that high of the day, going for another break. Goose, it's called AMP. Mountain Dew AMP energy drink. It's been around for a long time. It's got quite a bit of caffeine, 142 milligrams. Might not be a ton, but... Man, CLSK is making that comeback look real here. These Starbucks calls are going to pay for our birthday dinner, Tom. Hey, Starbucks. Nice. Coming back. It looks like they recently fell back down into the channel, which is a negative for me. But, man, today it's looking great. I know most people probably never even heard of AMP. It's weird. I don't know what it is, but nobody I really know knows it. Here's what it looks like. Mountain Dew AMP. It's pretty good. It's like a bright green color, just like Mountain Dew. It's my favorite. How could you not, right? All right, looking through some news here really quickly. I know a lot of people are getting kind of worried about silver this morning. It's doing pretty well from open, holding its ground, but man, it looks pretty brutal here at the same time. It's not enough caffeine. I drink 2. You get access to this kind of experience when I'm in the stream. Go to the Dollar Tree for energy drinks. I used to have like Rip-Its. Do you guys remember those? Weren't those like $1 back in the day? Go back to Apple, which was having a pretty good morning for most of the stocks out there today. Like to see their price action doing a bit better. Everybody knows and loves Apple. You don't have to love them, but you know their stock trades pretty well either way. A lot of good options opportunities, that's for sure. 274.50, pretty decent resistance from today. I like 275 a lot better, but that's just overhead. How's Tessie today? Everybody liking Tesla? Not really, falling down again. Tesla's been having a pretty brutal pullback since almost hitting 500 per share. They got there and really fell back down. Pretty good double top action, if I must say so. Whip-Its. No, Rip-Its. Oh, man. I'll show you guys what I was talking about. No, not the Whip-Its. That'd be wild. This type of stuff. I know if you're in the military, you know what these are. Well, if you were in the military, I should say, I guess. Yeah, how about this article from 2011? Silver margins raised by COMEX for second time in a week. This was May 2nd, 2011 is when this article had released about the CME group doing that with silver. And they raised the margin requirements and silver died. And again, today is the second time that they've raised it. They already raised these margin requirements on December 12th. And we saw the silver market bounce down. SoftBank to pay $4 billion for data center firm Digital Bridge. Tech weighs on U.S. stocks as silver turns volatile. Copper hits record in London as supply fears fuel the rally. How is HG? Oh, wow. Copper futures exploded but then died this morning. Damn. Damn, that is a big pullback by copper. It filled the gap all the way down to 557, 556. That's a big gap to fill right there, and it filled it. Filled it already. (2004 to 2011), during deployment, we were given free Rippets, helped with the 48-hour driving missions. Hell yeah. I know, I always hear guys in the military say they've had those. Day 2 of nothing. Ha. It's all right, Wolf. I would just give it a little while, you know. The market's been open, 20 minutes right now. This must be a very slow time in the market with everything going on. Lots of other tools you can use in there to help you out. One of the cool things you can do is you can look at the Golden Sweeps channel. And throughout the day today, you can wait. I mean, it's already thrown a few out, but you can look at some of those bigger trades and maybe try to follow some of those if you find any that are interesting to you. Right now, there's a Palantir put trade, it looks like. Somebody's trading the 192.50 strike puts for January 16th. So, in just a couple weeks, about $1.1 million in premium here. They might be trying to trade that down a little bit with Palantir. Looks like it is falling off quite a bit, too, here intraday. Yeah, that big money trader might be looking for a bit of a put opportunity here. That's one opportunity. You can go to the Golden Sweeps channel. It's in the bonus bots section. It essentially just shows you big money trades, and that's really what they are. Big money trades that are over $1 million. So I would go check that out. Can you check out MU? Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem, Wolf. It is what it is. Probably a slow time. Check out MU Micron coming back quite well here. Pretty good green day right now. Yeah, so far so good. Nice green candle. 290 overhead. Nice resistance there. Looking at it on the daily, not the best to be under yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs in pre-market, though, are pretty good. Not yesterday's, I should say Friday's. How about Google? GOOGL. That's a pretty nice move higher here today. 313 filled the gap perfectly, is now pulling back. Another perfect gap fill. We get those weird gap fills sometimes. That one is near perfect. You saw, now silver's a different animal. Silver won't always fill the gap because it's following physical silver. It's not like a stock that's going to move on its own, or, you know, if a bunch of traders are looking for the gap fill or something, you know, that's not something that's going to come into play as much anyways. Because we got to keep in mind, like, silver futures, they don't have the gap, right? Like, they were trading last night. So the futures don't even have a gap. Still possible, though. Man, SLV, that was a good gap fill down to like 65, 65.50, starting to hold up pretty well, too. Jane said, yeah, I got a small put on VWAP using a tight trailing stop. Keeps dancing around. Don't know whether to pull out and stay in for hope for higher highs. Yeah, on MU. I think it's going to be hard to get a full-blown recovery on MU today. I'd probably call it, but I would really try to have your trade all set up before you even really enter. I learned that I have to have my exit entry plan before entering or I lose money because I am emotional. Yeah, that's how it is with most traders, right? Kind of got to be like a robot, have it all set up and be willing to let it go. Of course, over time, you can adjust some of your parameters there, but man, Tesla pullback today is still looking pretty brutal compared to a lot of other stocks out there, really. Come on, Tesla. Can you get it going a little bit? That would be nice. You're not alone on the emotions part. Yeah. Everybody has emotions trading. It's just how do you manage them, right? Even if you're somebody that's really confident, you say that you don't have emotions, there's still some subconscious thought. you just manage it really, really good. Yeah, we got to keep those emotions in check, as they say. I keep up with what the companies are doing more than the ups and downs of the stock. I sell when I see the company is going to implode. I think that's great for long-term trading. For sure. Sounds good. Pretty good anyways. Yeah, the high-risk breakouts is still in hibernation mode, I see. Hibernation mode. Right now, Meta has you concerned. META. It doesn't look like it's going to be moving up very well today, I'll be honest. This definitely seems more bearish than bullish. Kicking off this week in a crazy way. Pretty weird action, I would say, with this pullback starting to come in. The market had been extremely bullish for a few days. So in reality, guys, I mean, I'm not surprised at all to see the market slowing down. It's a little saddening because it was nice to see the market touching new highs Friday morning early on before slowing down. But now, you know, we're in consolidation mode. It's really where the market's at. Whether you have a Santa rally or anything, the stuff going on that year is what will reign supreme. I love this support down here. Close to like 681.50 to 682. I'm not going to call that as the low here on this dip, but that could be a very interesting area of support over the next couple trading days if we do start to pull back in a bit harsher of a fashion. I really do still like the 686 zone as well. I think 686 is critical, whether you call it 685.95 or 686, whatever it is, it's really nice. It's hard to get it to line up perfect here. There we go. Right on 686. Perfect. Well, that's going to be the first one that I'm watching coming up very closely as well. Just under like the low of day from today. Watch out, it's been a lot more bearish than bullish here. And this is supposed to be the most bullish time of the year. And, you know, the Santa rally was going pretty good at first for those first couple of days, but it ended up getting a lot worse there. Tom, tell me a story. There once was this guy named Demir. He liked to dig holes. He lived in Cali. He rode around with surplus gear on, and they tossed him in jail. There's your story. Let's talk about food. MCD. Speaking of that, how are some of these? How's Jack? Remember Jack last week with all their store closures? They ended up exploding on Friday. I know a lot of you were actually watching that one, like legitimately watching it. Yeah, and he had a tank named Jaeger. I forgot about that. I forgot about Jaeger, man. Poor guy. His engine's probably blown up. Palantir's still moving down pretty well. All right. Heading to work on a snowy day here in New Mexico. Whoa. Yeah, that sounds crazy, Anthony. It's only snowed one time here this year in Missouri, so... Jaeger's still beside you every time you're on the computer. There you go. Good old Jaeger. For those of you who don't know, it's Demir's remote-controlled tank. Man, everything's kind of pulling back. I can't type in the stocks today. Fat finger and all the keys. Meta, Apple, Nvidia, all starting to pull back here. Tesla. Microsoft's just kind of holding. Amazon started to pull back a little bit from their high of the day. Strange price action, I gotta say. It's not my favorite for sure. Definitely not my favorite. Closing store is not necessarily bad. Yeah, it's not. It's not. That's part of the reason why I was actually looking at it to the upside, because it was actually moving up on Friday in a really good way. with those store closures. At least Jack was. I hope the one by me doesn't close. I gotta go get some before it closes. That's gonna be lunch today. There's gonna be Jack in the box. Good old Jack for lunch. Yeah, we were talking about this last week, Demure. It must have been after you hopped off, but it was pretty funny. Got cold in Texas after the windstorm yesterday. My gosh, yeah, that windstorm came through Missouri, too. It was like super windy, but it was like 70 degrees though. It was weird. Get this. Now this is gonna blow your guys' mind. Yesterday the high was 75. Today the high is 29. 29. And it's 19. This time yesterday it was like yesterday afternoon it was like 75 degrees. Now it's literally 19 degrees. I can't believe it. It's blowing my mind right now, actually, to even say that. Very weird. Wind gusts of 41 miles per hour, too. Oh, I see that Texas windstorm. Dang, that one looked bad, too. It's really windy in, like, Chicago right now, it looks like, as well. Yeah, and now then it was like 20. Yeah, yeah. I think all that came down to us, Mason. Yep. You don't live in the South anymore. Is Jack in the Box still cheap? It had great prices back in the day, not like $15 a meal everywhere now. You can still do 2 tacos for $2. I think that's like the best thing you can do is like 2 tacos for $2. So 6 tacos for $6. I think that's a pretty good deal. But if you go there and you get like the sourdough Jack meal, yeah, you're talking about that $15 stuff again. Yep. I remember it used to be 2 tacos for $1. That used to be fun. When I was in high school, my friend used to work there. And I was able to get him to make me special tacos sometimes. Like sometimes he would put special stuff in there. Or he knew a couple tricks to make them better. Steve says, I've been smacking down on those tacos. I know, they're pretty good, aren't they? You were at Jewel Osco and the cart almost went flying into your car. Oh no. Rogue carts on the loose with all the wind. That is a bit worrying. I'd be scared to park a nice car there. All right, Spy. Man, Spy and QQQ are holding at their low of the day. You bought some whole coffee beans you were going to grind up Since coffee had coffee grinders, there were no grinders. So you ended up not finding a grinder for him? Oh, man. I wonder if there's a way to do it without a grinder. I guess not, though. That sucks. SPY is holding up pretty well here. It's double bottom this morning. This is looking pretty solid. Pretty solid. Go get some coffee grinders, Demure. Or go grab some Starbucks. Their stock's been doing pretty good today. I know a few people are looking at it at open. Seems pretty solid. Very nice, as they say. Very, very nice. You grabbed it for dessert. By the way, ORMP is trading for less than 1-to-1 cash to share price, a bargain. Oramed. ORMP. This one's gonna get interesting. Oral Insulin Company. I feel like this could result in some pretty nice price action. Big bar to the downside. ORMP is starting to pull back in a pretty nasty way. Go back to SPY. Hey, there we go, SPY. SPY's holding its ground. There we go, QQQ holding up too. Let's go check the Mag 7. Starting to see coils back up here in a lot of these. That's pretty bullish to see. Tesla's coming back. Meta's starting to move higher. It'd be nice if Meta could really get it going. Silver is finally coming back to earth. SLV. Yeah, CME is raising their margin requirements on it today. That's a pretty big deal. We're seeing it pop back down now. Wow. We highlighted a lot of negatives with silver in last night's video. There's quite a bit that point to a pullback with silver. If you haven't seen it yet, I would suggest checking it out. Sorry guys, helping somebody out really quick. See you later, Demure. Have a great one. The good guy said I was stationed in Texas, and one time we went into the field for a month. It was warm when we started and got down to -12 halfway through. Nobody had extreme cold gear. Sleeping outside. Dang, that would be terrible. Sounds brutal, like silver's price action today. SPY holding support. There we go, SPY. Holding up well despite silver falling. You received a 250th anniversary Marine silver coin. You knew you should have sold it this weekend? Because silver was up? That's funny. I wouldn't worry too much. Silver will come back as soon as margin debt stabilizes. There is a shortage. That is true. There is a shortage right now. Supply shortage for sure. Said I wouldn't worry too much. Silver will come back as soon as margin debt stabilizes. I think that that's a fair assessment to have. This might not be a true dip like what we saw in 2011. You know, we did see that those margins requirements start to shift in 2011, like literally right here and right here where we're pointing directly on these candles essentially. Now silver did make a good comeback following that. You know, if you would have bought the dip on silver a little bit, possible 30% run, you know, most people probably caught like a, I don't know, I would say most people probably caught like 15 to 18%. I would bet, but nonetheless, very interesting there. Gets me thinking for sure. I'll be less worried when the SM bot comes back from vacation. Can't even blame him with the PA though. I know, seriously. Let me go check on SM bot though. Yeah, I mean, SM bot's been on, but I know what you mean with the Surge bot. Sorry guys, need just a second here. Need just a sec. I'm gonna throw on the Mag 7 really quickly while I check this out for somebody. You know what? We'll just do a quick intermission really fast while I take care of this. Watch Google, though. It's breaking out. 313 coming up. Seeing a nice pop here. All right, give me just a moment. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Google roaring to the upside here. 313 breaking out. What happened? Oh. My Thinkorswim went down? Are you kidding me? Ah, TOS. TOS, you're letting us down. Oh, I'm learning it's not TOS's fault. Good old Chrome. Yeah, it has talked down, or it has stopped and has not been talked about as much. Coconut, I would say the craziness has died down for sure. The drama with the AI bubble right now. People were kind of willing to push up the market here into the Santa rally. You know, a lot of traders were wanting tech to rip higher here. You know, they didn't care about the AI bubble. They cared about the Santa rally, right? That is a pretty big deal, of course. Anybody hear about Zelensky is one of the top 10 landholders in the U.S. now? No, I have not heard about that, Steve. That would really blow my mind if that were the case. I would really doubt that, but who knows? We see a new Intel news this morning. Oh, Nvidia finally completed its $5 billion purchase. I see. Yeah, under their September agreement. Finally went through, it looks like. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Intel is starting to recover up a bit. They are getting pretty smacked down in the short term. I like how they're holding the support range here. There could be some opportunity with Intel in this range. I like this. If you stop out underneath 35.50, you're willing to give it about $1 wiggle room on the risk reward. I think this is a pretty interesting short-term buy the dip opportunity where you could even start to see some of this action play out well today. On the daily, Intel had been getting pretty low. It's always possible that it keeps turning more, but I like this. Is Tesla about to pop or reject? TSLA, they've been pretty negative today. Probably reject. Let's see. Yeah, I'm leaning on reject here, but weird PA this morning. Very negative. They are trying to come back up. It just seems like they're turning over in the immediate short term. They might end up moving up here in the or you know, as we get into the afternoon or later this morning, but for this first 1 hour and 10 minutes or so, they've had a lot of choppy and more negative price action than anything, I'd say. Definitely more negative. You're seeing fake news? Yeah, Steve, I wouldn't think that that was real, for sure. That sounds far-fetched. I don't think they're going to be tricking too many people with that one. All right, let's see Intel. Hey, nice. Intel's looking beautiful. Looks like it wants to break 3670 here. Wow. Great price action with that news. Yeah, this is pretty solid. Very solid. Good morning, Hunter. Catch any fish today? No, I'm kidding. It's too early for the fish. Well, not really, but... you know what I mean. Sometimes when the markets get spongy like this, I'll just look for something with an EX dividend date in the next week or so, ride that up, maybe collect it and sell. Interesting strat, Tangy. I've heard of people running stuff like that before, but not all the time, of course. It's usually good for a 2 to 4% gainer. Not bad if you're bored and nothing else is moving. Google beats Tesla in every way. I do think Tesla and Google is the new Microsoft versus Apple, though. You really think Tesla versus Google is the same thing as, like, Microsoft versus Apple? Very interesting. Would you almost say that, like, Google versus Nvidia would be more like that? Or maybe like Google versus OpenAI, maybe? Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, I want to play, Mason. Let's do it. Play Tangy Man. Tangy said that the strategy that they were talking about, which is where he'll buy something with an EX dividend date in the next week or so, ride that up, collect it, maybe sell. Said usually a good 2 to 4% gainer if nothing else is moving. Two to 4% is pretty solid. Pessi pulling back a little bit. SPY not recovering up too much now. Now they are starting to pull back a bit more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SPY. Triple bottom. SPY, you want to see a triple bottom? It kind of almost triple bottomed already in this range. This might even be like a quadruple bottom here. Man, that really gave out. I'm looking for the news right now. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I don't really see much at all hitting the headline. Google beat NVIDIA with TPU versus GPU. It's over now. Grenade, rocket, landmine. That's a different take on rock, paper, scissors for sure. Man, SPY's starting to get some volatility, guys. That is a big move starting to play out. NVIDIA, same action. Let's see what the Mag 7 looks like. Got to reopen Thinkorswim here because it crashed on us. Thanks a lot, Thinkorswim. It's more of us competing with the Chinese. That definitely is a big deal, right? Let's go see that SPY again. Triple bottom. Ooh, there we go. Testing that range. It might end up getting through. I don't know if we call this a triple bottom or a quadruple bottom. There's technically like 4 hits close to here. I'll call it triple bottom to be safe, though. Either way, we know there's a support. That's the truth. Nothing too crazy on the news. Got the Mag 7 back open, though. SPY's holding that triple bottom zone. Wow, we're holding it up for now. I'm leaning more towards a breakdown coming through, but we'll see. No problem, Jane. Or sorry, Jeanette. Sorry. I guess you go by a lot, right? But sorry, Jeanette. Now I'm getting confused. Yeah, no problem though. Thanks for sharing it. You know, we always enjoy that stuff. Appreciate you making the community better. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to the Off Topic channel and scroll up. Scroll up to right here. I'll reply in the chat to it. I'll say right here from the live. Click that message that I'm replying to in the Off Topic channel. It'll take you to Jane's trading journal, and it's pretty neat. I was giving it a little bit of a look earlier. I haven't done a super deep dive in it, but yeah, I thought it was interesting myself, and yeah, I hope it helps some guys out here. And girls, of course. Guys and gals. There's a commercial around here where they have this place called Ted Drew's, and they're like, it's the best ice cream, so come on down, guys and gals, or something. It's funny. It's funny. You're very heavy in energy plays. Oh. I'm not surprised, Tangy Man. What about you? Look into fusion energy. That's been a pretty big deal lately. I've been seeing that quite a bit too. Quite a bit of talk about fusion energy in the shorter term. What was that fusion energy company that Trump DJT just bought into? Was it TAI? TIA, maybe? Nope. One of you guys will remember, I know. But DJT and them are going to be doing a merger. Let me look that up. DJT. TAE Technology. That's a TAE. I don't know if they trade or not. I don't think that they are public, but DJT and them were doing a merger. That was interesting. It kind of had me thinking, like, what the hell? Like, why are they doing that? Yeah, they need to feed the AI beast. Yes, they do. What an interesting day, though. Market's starting to pull back. We're still in the Santa rally. So the Santa rally officially ends January 5th. January 5th. I just opened up an article talking about pending home sales. jumping up to 3.3% versus a month earlier. Largest jump in contract signings since early 2023, as even modest signs of cooling in the U.S. housing market brought buyers to the table. Contract activity is up 2.6% compared to a year earlier. All regions in the country saw an uptick in homes going under contract last month, with the West Wing showing the biggest month-over-month gain at 9.2%. Home buyer momentum is building. Improving housing affordability driven by lower mortgage rates and wage growth. Goddamn, wage growth rising faster than home prices is helping buyers test the market. More inventory choices compared to last year are also attracting more buyers to the market. Interesting. Wage growth rising faster than home prices. We'll take that combined with lower mortgage rates. Hell yeah. Who wouldn't want to buy a new house? Or just buy a house, right? Since it was 88 cents a share, Tangi's been into UUU since before it was cool. Yes, he has. UUUU. In the uranium sector, I've heard a lot of people talk about this a lot. Party time. 88 cents a share. Holy shit. Your house lost 50K in value? Wow. How'd your house lose that much value? Is it a pretty big one or something like that? Or are you in like Cali or something? Mainly what I meant. Massachusetts, damn. That doesn't seem like you'd have that much going on like that, but I guess you do. The uranium squeeze dwarfs the silver squeeze, ounces versus tons. URA is getting pretty low again here, Tangi. Kind of dipping in the short term. Might provide a decent opportunity here soon. Same with UUUU, really. This is not bad one bit. This is what Spark Reactor's trying to solve. Yeah, I'm not too hip into that fusion lingo there, but man, every time SPY seems like it's gonna make a move today, it gets stuck. We're really stuck down here at the bottom end of this zone. It's actually a slight uptrend from that low of the day. Look at that. Not too shabby. If this starts to break down, maybe just watch the SPY a bit lower. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bit more consolidation, maybe down to like 686. Get another leg down, but might be able to get a good dip buy at some point here today, which could be nice. All right, let's go down to the SPY, which is still holding this trend pretty well, which is surprising me. I didn't think it'd be holding it this well. Looks like it is, though. Man, SPY is loving this lower support and lower trend. Getting another nice push. This is some good price action for this. Tesla calls. Looks pretty good, Alex. Tesla's starting to break the downtrend up here a little bit. Could be a good sign. Somebody just discovered gold hydride, another extreme pressure and heat they managed to create. Until recently was thought impossible. It might be the missing superconductor. I mean, they just might be. We'll see. Interesting though, Tangy man. You're gonna have me out here looking up gold hydride here after this. Tesla is starting to break through that little downtrend though. Be nice to see it continue. If SPY does start to break under this downtrend, that's where I think the big opportunity will be, is playing it down here. So watch out. We might see it play out that way. It'd be very interesting if we did. At least Powell isn't crashing SPY like last year. That's a good point. I suppose you're correct there. That is a decent point. Yet. Yeah. Maybe we'll see Powell come out and end up doing it, right? That'd be pretty funny. All right, SPY, here we go. Testing that trend again. Let's see what we got, SPY. See if it ends up breaking through or holding again. So far, holding pretty well. He got us that soft landing. Can't be too mad at Powell. For real. I would agree. Everybody really hates on him, but It's not too bad in my eyes. I think things could be much worse. Is he perfect? I mean, no. Who is, right? I can't even imagine. Trump, Biden, Trump again. What a headache. Do what? Oh, you mean with Powell's like having to deal with it. I see what you mean. You know, if we keep going on that pace, do you know who that means is next, Tangy Man? Man, what if it goes Trump, Biden, Biden again? Don't kill me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm kidding, of course. All kidding.
All right, all right, all right.
That's right. Man overboard. Walk the plank, Tom. I know everyone will be pissed, right? I'll end up getting in trouble for that one. Powell and Yellen are just way late on the transitory response. Hey, what if Powell ran for president? Now we're getting too far-fetched. I wonder what some of these odds are looking like for the presidential election in... When's the next one, technically, I guess? What? 28, 29? November 7th, 2028. Okay. Yeah. So they'll held it on November 7th, 28, and then they will be in on the in 2029. Yep. I was pretty right there. 28, 29. JD Vance is the one winner that they're looking at, of course. I'm trying to find the damn line so I can show you guys. Let me go to one of the websites that oh, here we go. Here you go, DraftKings. Go check Apple again really quickly while the SPY still straddles that line. Damn. SPY is so close. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. DraftKings is making me do some weird stuff. COVID was something we had to navigate the economy around. That's true. It was a very weird time, wasn't it? We do have to remember transitory was always fun, right? I know that he had to navigate a lot of things, but, you know, that transitory was pretty weird at the end of the day. Any New Year resolution, guys? I'm not a really big fan of New Year's resolutions. You know, I'm a fan of trying to make yourself better, but I don't get why we always have to do it on New Year's. It doesn't... I feel like everyone who does that never really sticks with it, right? I want you to have your 4th of July resolution. That's what I want. Seems like July 4th was yesterday. All right, Spy, you're still consolidating here on this trend line. Are we going to break it down? Uh-oh, it's starting to move under there a little bit, guys. Is this going to be where Spy starts to really move better here intraday, or? Uh-oh. Not looking very good. Watch for 686 support coming up next. That's going to be a big level. Spy is pointing lower than higher here today. See you later, Jane. Have a good one. You're gonna go play some games? What kind of games do you play nowadays, Jane? Kind of curious. Have a good one, though. Look at that apple on the book map really quick. AAPL consolidating here very hard. Looks like there is some sell wall overhead. Not a ton of buy walls underneath, though. Had a request in SM chat for that one. Man, Apple just got so slow right here. So did the SPY. But it's coiling. Like it's coiling for a larger move. But we're just not getting the move coming through. Very slow and choppy till it starts to actually get that break. All right, SPY holding up for now. Gosh, still holding that trend. That's pretty wild. All right, here we go. Let's go see some of these politic votes things that DraftKings has now. Where's politics at? We'll figure it out somehow here. Weird. I don't even know if you can bet on politics with DraftKings. I have no idea. Can't really even find it. Very interesting. TSLA, Alex says. Tesla bouncing up. Yep. Coming up through its downtrend. They had a little downtrend going there. It started breaking through. It recently bounced right off of it as well. Look at it holding it up now. That's a really good sign. Really good intraday sign if you're a scalper there trading it up. Interesting price action with Tesla. Had that big dip early on, recovered all the way back now to 469, 470. Tesla's gotten destroyed the past few days. You know, they hit 500 bucks a few days ago, or just under there, and rejected, and it's been pretty brutal since then. We sure were close to 500 on Tesla just last week. Yep. Yes, we were. Look at this beautiful price action again. Wow. Wow, this is pretty nice. Looking nice. Nice breakout, Tesla. SPY, uh-oh. SPY coming down. Looks like that was a big shift there that started to occur. All right. Man, that's brutal. Well, alrighty, guys. We're going to go ahead and call the stream there today. Sorry the market was a bit boring. I wish that there was, you know, there's always stocks moving, right? But I just wish that there was better price action in general here. Something to keep watching for in the short term. Watch crude oil, ticker symbol CL. It's crude oil futures. It's testing a very large support in the short term. We might start to see like ZOM, Oxy, and others start to break out as crude bounces off support and as oil prices shoot higher. You know, this move here with ZOM has been pretty nice so far today. It's actually breaking out above its range, which is nice. You can see Oxy starting to come up off of this dip. There could be a really good buy the dip scenario playing out here on Oxy. So interesting stuff here, guys. But you know, we're starting to see the markets move a bit more in general. Obviously SPY made that new high on Friday. Today it dipped down. What we're really looking for over the next few trading days is a clear extension up to new highs. It would be a lot better than seeing a bunch of chop coming through. And don't forget, if you guys are interested, Jane, who always joins up here, what's her name in the chat again? Oh, Janny Hart. She made a free journal in the Discord. If you go to the off-topic channel, I said right here from the live and put arrows pointing up. If you click that little link above my message, it'll take you to the trading journal that she made. It's pretty cool. She'll probably post it up a few different times here throughout the week, but enjoy the cold. Thanks, Coconut. You too. No problem, Tangy Man. And of course, thanks to everybody here. Thanks for always joining up, making this community what it is, nice and solid. Always appreciate you. Watch out for SPY. It seems like it's trying to break down. Have a great rest of your Monday, and let's crush it this week. See you guys.